Hi, viewers. Welcome. Joanna Dos Santos here, along with my beautiful colleague, Brian Mandy. Yet again, another episode. This time a little bit more closer to the holidays. As you can tell, I'm wearing my red colors. Brian has a, where's Brian? Red pillow. And the topic is really about looking forward to your holidays, looking forward to your Christmas holidays, unless there's other holidays that you are celebrating, whether it's Hanukkah, and any other holidays, and how you are preparing for it. And in most cases, I think most of us can agree that we are taking the time to celebrate a little bit earlier by decorating a little bit earlier. And it's also how we decorate, how much thought and effort we put into it. So I'll leave it up to you, Brian, starting up and to bring this up into our awareness. Yeah. Brian has his office decorated. That's the first thing that I noticed when I saw you today was the red chain the colorful chain going around your desk. I thought it was just creative. And then you told me what it's made out of, which makes me want to make it with Isabel, of course. And of course, my decor on this side, I have little Christmas kind of lights, not candles, but they're like lights. They automatically come battery operated. Mm-hmm. So yeah, how do you viewers look forward to your holidays? And of course, management of the losses, we're acknowledging that there are certain things that may have happened and occurred to us. So we're taking that into consideration, but also as how the decorations, at least for me, that's why I'm saying this, can bring extra joy into the household, can make things a little bit more happier and joyous. And why not do it a little bit earlier? We have nothing else to lose in the sense of just about being home. Don't you agree?
Yeah. Yeah. I think, the preparation for Christmas is like how we have those countdowns and all that. It could almost be a 31 day, or, if we come to the, whatever number of days till the end of the year. Not so much think about it as the end, but how do we create a new beginning, right? How the memories, the experiences that we've had, and think about I wonder what awesomeness is going to come from this. What are the opportunities? What could be opportunity of growth that can come from this? How wonderful that I got to live this year, and what more abundance that could come from this. Right? And in regards to the decorations and all that, right? When you think about our mirroring neurons, right? Our internal world and our perceptions and how they are affected by our external world. What we have around us affects how we feel and we think, and it affects our belief systems, right?
And I have to say that I think the first thing that I noticed, and it was definitely, I would probably say mid-November, Christmas trees in people's windows. And maybe I noticed it more so now than I did in the previous years. But I did see it, and I did see people decorating consecutively, taking their time to decorate outside. And maybe because the weather was also nice, I'm thinking, why not? But it sure encouraged us almost to do the same. I know I think I mentioned it to you earlier, just this past week, we got our Christmas tree, and normally we don't get it so early into the holiday season, but we did get it. And to me, to Isabel, just in general, it felt good decorating. We had Christmas songs playing, I love it. I think it just, I think I mentioned in our previous recordings, I sing out loud in my car, but I also do it at home when nobody's there, only Isabel. And that's what we did. We sang Christmas songs and decorated the Christmas tree. And then I have yet more to decorate because I decorate my kitchen. I put stuff on cabinets. So how much enjoyment does that bring versus everything else that is already going on?
And I think this is a function of rituals and traditions and celebrations. They impart in us, or they offer an opportunity to come together, to remember what makes us belong together, what is that unifies us. And there's celebrations and rituals, culturally, globally, that bring us together. This year, if you think about the pandemic, where there was something that, depending on the perspective, but it has we've all got a common, relatable experience. And, and the conversations of appreciation and suffering and gratitude, etc. I think it is an opportunity for us to think about what is it that we can recreate. Like, I want to take this opportunity to just tell everybody that Joanna and I are going to be starting a webinar series, 2021.
Yes.
2021, Revive and Restore. And we will be
Yes.
having a monthly webinar that is open to your registration and to your participation. And once a month, we kind of speak about the theme of the year and how do we continue to have this revival and this restoration and the re-inspiration and renewal of ourselves on a month-to-month basis on different parts of our lives and different topics that that might be going on in the world at that time. So it's a seminar that or an opportunity for education, once again, to speak on different topics, but
yes,
a deeper educational opportunity there to enrich ourselves from a learning experience and an application component.
Mm-hmm.
So, right?
Yes, and we, not only educational, but we will be sharing from a therapist perspective, but maybe in some ways also from a personal perspective, some of the journeys that we have gone on and how they have impacted us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So the decorations, right, that we have can become the therapeutic environment, just like for some, depending on the therapeutic approach. Like for a person with a eating disorder, you would go out with a client to a restaurant and not a date, right? It is how you experience. What is your experience? What's going on? What's coming up? And then for those of us who have done in-home therapy, when you go into a patient's home and to see how they live and how can they live differently. Some people have had trauma in their homes and they can't leave. You can't just up and go. So how do you change the story of a room? How can colors, how can you rebed? How can you reposition and restage a room and its lighting that it now moves from a place of helplessness to a place of empowerment, a place of reclaiming your story and rewriting your story. And that's what, accessories essentially can do for you.
That's why I kind of miss my office, because I know we did these webinars, these recordings on Mondays, and normally I am home because I go into my office and we did these recordings later. It's such a different feeling. I mean, I love being here, obviously, but it's just the core. There's a different feeling to it, peaceful feeling maybe, because I am in my office by myself, right? Versus in the house, I have to be mindful whether I hear my daughter next room. And so there's almost like that small interruption. But yeah, absolutely right. Even like I'm thinking of painting and coloring, where at one point I even painted my entire house. I did it by myself. I was like so proud of it. I got the colors that I wanted and I painted the entire house just because. And then with time passed, and then different colors needed to be there. So, and it's just a feeling like, why not refresh? And I think this is why maybe we're bringing up the idea of the holidays and decorating so early, is because there's almost like a lack of joy that I've recognized, I've seen, I hear my clients speaking, right? Because the old topic, let's face it, it's just COVID, pandemic, who's getting sick, right? Who have I been in contact with? Who's going shopping? Am I wearing my mask? So we are so conscious what we're doing that everything else is almost forgotten, and how much longing people have for joy and happiness. And they're bringing that through. I know I am, by decorating a little bit earlier, by singing songs, or by staying up late and watching Christmas movies, which I did it in like 4 times in a row this past week because my daughter had off. So we were up till 11:30 at night. She's a 6-year-old, 11:30 at night. That's fine. So yeah, it's fun. It's exciting. And why not, have it be there for days and weeks.
Yeah, and paint is something you're so afraid about the wrong color. You can always paint it. The only thing that you lose is your effort or your creativity or your risk taking. Why not expand on that? And just like our officers, right, dear listeners, we try to address and accommodate from the perspective of sound, sight, smell, right? All our sensories to our therapeutic environment, so that it becomes a safe holding space, a space where you can transition and transform and be vulnerable and be authentic and grow and become the best of yourself. So your home swing, what you have around you, from the music you have, from the ambience you have, it's not overstimulating, that it's pleasing to you. That because joy and happiness takes work. There comes a point where you have to decide that this is how I want to resonate. This is the kind of emotion I want to have. This is the kind of person I want to be. And you have to induce it like a flat tire. You can't just expect it to inflate. You've got to induce air into it, and then it inflates.
Right. Absolutely. Yes.
And
Someone had asked me today, I can't remember exactly how they asked the question, but they said, I remember saying, does this work? And I think the conversation was about bringing joy, bringing happiness, because they were so sad and upset and not motivated. That was it. Not motivated. And just the process of trying. Yes, all of this is hard work, and you're the only one that's really going to do it. There's people that can support you and help you do it. But overall, it comes down to you needing to push yourself to get it done, right? Like you said, it's the flat tire. If I don't put air, I can't drive anywhere. I cannot drive anywhere. So I have to learn how to do it to then be able to drive wherever it is that I want to take this. And I think that's what it has to do with this joy, the gratitude, the part of decorating earlier. If it's going to last a month, maybe two. I mean, as silly as it sounds.
As long as it's rewiring a new pathway towards possibility. And, listeners, we can have more than one feeling. We can feel sad and feel hope. We can feel helplessness and still dream big. So we've got to be, but any fear-based emotion has a little bit of a narcissistic quality. It takes your mind. It does not want to share the state.
Yes. It just wants to stay there.
Narcissistic traits of our fear, of our amygdala, in a sense, right? It's over hypervigilant, over guarded.
It's the same thing for everything else, right? It's the same thing for not only fear, but the part of, I'm just thinking of negativity, right? If I'm always negative, it's the same. It would be the same thing, right?
Yeah,
right.
Exactly. And just before this, Joanna and I was talking about, like, for Christmas and gifts and stuff like that, right? Like, can they be purposeful? And do we really need? And are there things that we can repurpose? For those who have no money and have to work on a budget, it's almost an insult to expect others to offer a gift, maybe for the kids perhaps, but or not an insult, but perhaps an reconsideration of what Christmas should be: a time to care, a time to share, right? And maybe a time to recreate, as we are recreating ourselves, to recreate what we have at home.
Yeah, and I think that kind of
the mirror, instead of getting a new mirror, why not paint it gold?
Yes, we were just talking about it. And I'm thinking of your cards, right? How you said, with Christmas cards, when we get them in the mail, Brian, he does is instead of, I don't know if some of us keep cards or we get rid of them later on with time. I would assume so, because I don't know if I would necessarily want to collect hundreds of cards, but be able to recreate something from that card. And that's what you do.
Right. It's just it's a card that was from last year. I the one part, the cover, was not used, so I cut it out and I put a stamp, and then I put a quote in front of it. Right, Christmas.
Yeah, I love it.
It's time to share and time to care.
I love it. Yes.
But it represents that everything, like every person, as I told you, everything and every person deserves another chance. Right?
Absolutely.
We don't just have to discard things because we don't need them anymore. But how do we be considerate about energy and our resources?
And how, like I mentioned it to you a little bit earlier, right before we started, that, and this is just something that we started last year, given my daughter's age, the whole idea of elf on a shelf. And I don't know how you feel, parents. I don't know if most of you do this, but I got definitely sucked into it. So we do it. And last year we did it later because maybe I was pushing it a little, to start later. I don't know. I wasn't thinking about it. It was not on my priority list. But given this year with what's going on, is we brought the elf a little bit earlier, hence at the end of November. So my daughter is all ecstatic because the elf came, and she came with a pet. So now she could touch the pet. And the joy, I have to be honest with you, just by watching her, even when I'm in a separate room today in the morning, that's what she did. She's talking to this elf. I hope she's not hearing me, but she's talking to this elf like, it's real. And the magic in there, and like what she's able to express, and the laughter and the smile that she has on her face, that's enough for me. That is enough for me. And I can enjoy it. And I can enjoy it tomorrow when she wakes up and the elf is going to be in a different spot. Whatever happens. Why not? Once again, I know I keep on saying why not a lot in most of our recordings, but why not?
Why not?
I should put it in quotations.
If you don't open the door, you won't know what's on the other side.
Mm-hmm.
So that why not is to expand on curiosity. Curiosity helps lower our anxiety.
Yes, absolutely.
Right? And that is for us to return to our childlikeness of wonderment. And Christmas
as an adult, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'm thinking of my Christmas tree, which is located next door, is the smell from it. I wake up in the morning, get to the entire full smell of Christmas tree, and I love it.
Absolutely.
I get so excited when I talk about it. Yeah, the part of decor, the holidays. I don't know if you had the chance to decorate your house. I don't know if you do, but yeah, the part of enjoying. If we have the time, and I think that's another factor too. Oftentimes we find ourselves saying we don't have time. And I think that goes with our previous recording of what's your excuse. And we do have time because we can find time. And why do we push time aside when it comes to happiness? To find joy. So find the time if you know that it's going to bring you joy, and decorate a little bit earlier. Bring something different into the household.
Or make your own Christmas cards.
Yes, or garlands.
Yellow garlands.
We used to make them from paper back in the day. Colorful paper. I'm giving myself creative ideas.
You are creative. I think the audience got to learn that side of you.
I think my creative side is definitely taking off more so this year. Yes.
Well, Joanna, it's been so good to speak to you about today, and what a wonderful opportunity to talk about recreating ourselves and recreating our environment and how it recreates our internal and external, and what would next year be. When we think about recreating ourselves and rewriting the stories.
We will be better individuals as we move forward into 2021.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Brian. Thank you, viewers. Yes, thank you, viewers. Once again, this is our beautiful recording all the time on a weekly basis. If you want to subscribe, hit the button below. Leave us some comments. Give us some ideas what you would like to hear. Until next time.